Hey guys, in this video I'll be demonstrating a calculated spreadsheet, which is a very simple spreadsheet. Um, I have seen people struggle with this, so I just decided to make a video about it. This is a fictional report in Excel. I'm currently running Excel 2015, though this is very common with Excel 2010 and 2013. It would just about do the same. And this is a calculated spreadsheet. It's a very simple sales report spreadsheet. Uh, where Excel actually works for you by calculating certain things. For this example, I have 5 fictional employees. I have John, Jane, Rob, Vinny, and Stacy, and I have the days of the week. And they're working for my store, and they are currently selling products either on the phone or they're selling on the floor. And I'm calculating their performance, and I'm interested in seeing, first of all, a snapshot of how I'm doing company-wise, and a snapshot of per employee. I'm just very curious how they're doing. So I'm able to run a report like this every week just by filling in nothing but the sales numbers, and of course by filling in what is my total spend for the week. Suppose I operate some form of a call center and I purchase leads, or let's say I buy merchandise and I buy $10,000 worth of merchandise, and I'm selling all my merchandise at $20 a pop. The goal is for each one of these individuals to make their sales at $20, right? And this is all fictional. And these are all formulas built in and nested in. As a matter of fact, everything in here is a formula, all but these values, right? So let's say John made 25 sales instead of 11 on Monday, and you'll see how all the numbers just shifted and changed. So that is what a calculated sheet is. Just it's able to take one value and then perform a calculation throughout the entire sheet, and provide you different results. Okay, so in this scenario, I'm going to pick one employee here, John. John's performance throughout Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And I'm doing the same with the rest of the employees. I have the daily totals on the bottom. I'm curious how I'm doing throughout the day, and it looks like Monday was messed up. There we go. So Monday 144, Tuesday 125, Wednesday 135, etc. I have the total sales of the week, which is a cumulative amount, sum of my entire weekly sales. In this case is 700. Then I have a cumulative amount per agent or per salesperson. So I'm able to see what they were able to produce throughout Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. In addition to that, I have their weekly close rates. So I'm seeing how much out of the 700 sales each person had actually done. So for example, 103 out of 700 is 15%. Currently, Vinny right now is the leader with 28% at 197 sales. So the more sales you have, naturally, the higher your close rate is. You're able to close more deals. I have my spend, how much money I had currently spent for the operation to run for the week. I also have the total cost per close. The total cost per close is actually measured by taking the amount that I spent and actually dividing that into my total sales. So I'm able to tell how much money basically took me to spend to get one deal out of the amount of sales that I had made. And the number fluctuates with the more or less sales that I have. The more sales, the less the cost was for me, and the less sales, obviously, the higher the cost was. I have my gross return, and then I have my gross return times 20, meaning I'm selling the item at $20, and then I have my net return because I'm subtracting $10,000 because I've spent $10,000. And this obviously doesn't include salaries and bills and all that stuff. It's just a simple spreadsheet. The bottom line is I'm able to produce a report like this that kind of works for me. If I clear out all these values, you'll see that everything now becomes pretty much null and zero. And when I put in here just basic ones, you could see how the spreadsheet just begins changing. And here, let me just finalize this one more time and show you how programmatically, well, I'm not going to say programmatically, but how automatically the spreadsheet is able to change. You'll see 11 out of 55 is 20%. You can see here my net return clearly. If I made this many sales, 55 in a week, I'm down in the whole 89,000 as a deficit. So how was this spreadsheet created? Okay, so I know I have these values here. These values are my variables, which are going to basically add up to everything. And the daily totals, the formula is basically sum. So all I'm doing is I'm summing up the column above, right? So the way to do that is two other ways to do it. The easiest way is just to click on the AutoSum button, and naturally you could just type equals sum and just highlight. Very, very quickly you could just click on AutoSum and just get all the results into this page, right? So that will take care of your daily totals by having the sum for each column, showing you the daily totals, showing you the daily totals for each one of the days of the week. So now what we also have is we have our total sales. So total sales is also a sum, and it's just a sum of this whole table for our weekly sales. So if I delete this formula, again, I go to AutoSum, and notice everything kind of breaks if I delete that because every variable depends on each other. So I'm just going to highlight this whole box, and that's my sum. Now, everything you see pretty much depends on this variable, the total sales, everything below, right? So then we have John's total sales for the week. Again, it is a sum, so we're able to sum up this value. Very, very easy by clicking sum, typing sum rather, and then just selecting the columns for John. I'm able to create a value for all of his sales for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday and Friday. I'm doing the same thing here for this fictional person, Jane, including Rob, Vinny, and Stacy. So each one of these individuals all have a sum carrying and when you double click on it, you'll be able to actually be able to see a highlight over the cells that I'm currently adding into my formula. So now that I have this information, right, I'm interested in knowing their close rates because I want to evaluate how much each person had done out of the sales. So if we have 110 sales in this case, let me give it some odd values, 2, 3, 4, some odd, very odd numbers. Okay, there we go, play with that. So if I have 144 sales, I want to know which one of my guys is the top producer. I could do so by knowing by the number of sales that they made. In this case, I see clearly Vinny here with 19. But some people like to see percentages. So to get the percentage, we simply do a division of dividing the total amount of sales into the total sale amount and formatting it as a percent. Otherwise, it would show up as a decimal. There would be no format. So it's a simple equal, and then let's say John's amount, put a division sign, and click on total sales, hit enter, and now you have his close rate. So we're able to see the close rate now per individual. So we know that who's leading by percentage wise as opposed to number sales wise, right? So we could do that also throughout the entire spreadsheet with as many people as we want. And you can see when I double click it, you'll see exactly how the formula is broken down and how each and every individual has their own close rate. Okay, moving forward down, you'll see my total spent. So my total spent is a variable that doesn't depend on any other variable. I actually enter that amount manually. Why? Because every week I could be spending different amount of money. For this specific reason, for this specific example actually, I just decided to put 10,000. This 10,000 over here is going to be very helpful in determining our cost per close, right? So it's very important for us to know our cost per close. So in order to distinguish how much it costs us to actually do business, how much a deal is worth, I'm able to just, if I double click on that, you'll see that it is B18 divided into B11. So B18 happens to be $10,000 my spent for the week, and then B11, which is the total sales amount. So once the total sales amount changes, again, the more sales we have, the lower the cost, right? So if I change this to a 1, you'll see the cost went higher because the less sales that I have, the more I'm paying to get the sale, right? So it's just an example of statistical value to show how we're able to attain a number that values what exactly a sale should cost us, or a close, or when a deal closes. Naturally, we have our gross return. Our gross return is evaluated by all of our deals multiplied by 20. Now you see here what I did was I just added the total weekly deals, when in reality I could just do the total sales times 20. But I just happened to add this whole thing. As a matter of fact, I should change that right now. So I'll do total sales times, let's say, 20 bucks. So total sales is 142 according to our current numbers, and 142 times 20 bucks comes out to 2,840. Now we spent 10,000, right? So our net return is actually going to be E18 minus this amount minus total spent. So we have E18, which is gross return, and we're going to subtract from it, let's say, our total lead spent. And we are in a deficit for 7,160. So we actually lost money according to this formula. Now let's say we had really successful sales. Let's say we had 11, 23, 42, 61, 58. I just gave completely tremendous values, high values for Monday. Monday was the best sales day of them all. And by doing that, you'll see 195 sales. You see here how all of our numbers had changed. Our cost per lead is now reduced to 1961. Our gross return is way higher, and our net return now is above a deficit. This is $200. So we can add 100 different conditions here and 100 different variables and 100 different types of data. The purpose of the video is to show you how you can use very simple formulas to create a living sheet. So I can actually go ahead and click on File, and I could save it, and I could save it as desktop. I'll save it to my desktop. I'll save it as, let's say, 10/29, right? So let's say week of 10/29, 2015, and now I have the stats right here on my desktop for this particular week, for the sales for this week. So I can close out the spreadsheet. Everything is still retained. I can go right back into it. I could wipe everything out, and I could redo their sales now for the next week, and then continue and have my statistics and reports and stats. So that is the purpose of the video, to just display this and to also show you how, in what terms, what is a calculated spreadsheet, more or less. Spreadsheet in which automatically takes values and is able to produce a number of calculations for you and return back different values of interest. Obviously, in every business this differs. In every business there's a completely different thing. You might not even use it for sales. You might even use it just to calculate your bills, for example. You could do your own budgeting with this. You could say, all right, this is what I'm paying for electricity, this is what I'm paying for this and for that and for that and for this, and you can create a beautiful spreadsheet that can ultimately give you really quick calculations and do a lot of the thinking for you and determining, and you can create really nice reports this way. This also works for obviously invoices, sales orders, quotes, and things of that nature. So this is a very simple and basic tutorial. A lot of people that have probably watched my videos look at this and they say, hey, you know, this is nothing. I've seen this before. Well, you'd be surprised how many beginners don't know how to do something like this. And that is the purpose of the video, to display to display this kind of information to these individuals. All right, so this is my second video for today. My previous video was actually about using VLOOKUP to reverse phone numbers to get states for these phone numbers, if you want to watch it. I've gained a lot of subscribers in the last week. I want to say thank you to everyone, and thank you to everyone who watches my videos. And if you have a chance, please subscribe and come back and visit again. I try to upload more content. And if you have any content ideas, you can always email me, elon@dangerstudio.com. You could find my information in the About tab of my channel. I'll just leave a comment below. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.